Former ambassador to Grenada Oleg Ferrer has retained the services of attorneys Cajetan Hood, Benjamin Hood and Dillon Charles after claiming he was refused entry into the country on February 22, 2023 and having his diplomatic passport confiscated. The lawyers called a press conference on Friday, but subsequently recanted the statement and rescheduled a press conference on Monday. Attorney Cajetan Hood gave an account of what he said transpired between his client and immigration officers when his client landed in Grenada on the day of the purported incident.
Our client was then required to board the next flight back to London, where he traveled from, and there was no further reason given to him for denying him entry to Grenada. There was no question asked to him regarding his purpose. So the immigration officer didn't even ask him, well, what are you doing here? What's your purpose? Why are you traveling to Grenada?
According to the attorney, Mr. Ferrer had been in communication with the permanent secretary and was asked to avail himself for a meeting in Grenada between February and March this year with respect to the handing over of duties, one of the reasons he was traveling to Grenada.
Prior to the last elections in June 2022, he was informed by letter from the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that he would be recalled from the posting that he held in January of 2023, January this year. Our client was contacted by the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and asked to participate in a meeting with the ministry with respect to a handing over of duties. So in my respectful view, up to January 2023, and based on the manner in which he was approached by the permanent secretary, who is the highest public official in the ministry and takes instruction from the minister, he was regarded still as an official of the government of Grenada.
Ferrer is a United States citizen and used his U.S. passport to enter Grenada from the UK. According to the lawyers, the former ambassador was asked if he owns a Grenadian passport apart from the diplomatic passport, to which he responded no, but relayed that he had already instructed a legal firm in Grenada to process his acquisition for an ordinary passport. According to his attorneys, apart from his diplomatic appointment, he also has private interests in Grenada. It is alleged, based on Mr. Ferrer's testimony, that he was not allowed to enter the country based on orders handed down to the immigration officials by higher-ups. Hood said a letter was drafted to be issued to the government.
We have drafted a letter to the Prime Minister and Minister responsible for immigration in that capacity, seeking a resolve of the situation. Our specific instructions from our client are to the effect that he would prefer if the matter can be handled as amicably as possible. Because having been associated with Grenada for these years, having been associated with promoting Grenada as a country where investors can come and tourists should come, he does not want to turn around because of one event and sully the reputation of Grenada, even though his reputation has already been sullied.
The National Democratic Congress-led government, on assuming office last year, adopted a policy decision to recall and review all of Grenada's diplomatic postings abroad. GBN reached out to the Foreign Affairs Ministry on Friday and Monday, but was unable to reach Foreign Affairs Minister Joseph Andel. Attempts to locate the Prime Minister were also futile. GBN had posed a question to Legal Affairs Minister Claudette Joseph on Thursday.
This is not a matter in relation to which I have all of the relevant information. So what I would suggest you do is that you defer to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they will be better placed to answer your question.
Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.